Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to GLL Season 4 Finals. Just as I talked about Tab there, by the way, missing the shots. He managed to rip the head off. So yeah, cheers, Tab. Oh my word, Purdy Curdy breaking the hopes and hearts and dreams of all the Omicron fans out there, and knocking them out early. Those big nades coming in from Na'Vi, and Jeems and co cleaning up the back fight between Meta and Oath. Higuain, oh my god, Hyagrin, absolutely mega. They lined up for him.
Yeah, they did. Super well played. And the barrel is one of the hardest guns to control, so him being able to get a 3-man spray down with it just perfect. Makes his nade on tap and Senya finishing him off completely. But Ibi pushing off Na'Vi, but this peak here, and then Vard, Miracle shooting, opening it up, and then Vard counter peeking. All the other guys were looking at him. Super well played, super well executed by them. I love the in-game comms though. Where is he? In front of you.
Is it pretty?
Yeah, just like that's the comms. That was
just
great
kill it forehead. Yeah. Oh man, it's just like that whole end piece. You could do a whole segment on that and how perfectly well executed it was. And it's yes, obviously Vard and Miracle have played together for a long time, but obviously the whole team seems to be just gelling and synergizing and playing so well together. They have built themselves an impressive lead here. There's no doubt about it. They are looking solid going into the final day, but don't write everyone else off, because obviously we've seen Team Liquid stepping things up today. They are slowly climbing that table. Shoot to kill, obviously they've had some pretty big performances. That wasn't their game though. They went out pretty early in that one. FaceLand
on Sundays also have been known to have some decent comebacks, so that could also happen. But honestly,
FaceLand are going to have like the best Sunday ever to get up here, because they've had some pretty bad games.
Yep. Even if Welcome to South George or WGSG, sorry, they are in that lead, we still have a big fight for the rest of the placements. We want them to position as good as possible. There's a lot of difference in the prize pool as well in terms of second, third, etc. We want to see some of the teams that are on the lower half of the leaderboard get into the top 8, because that's where the prize pool starts. So still massive things to be decided here.
I want to see, and you know, I talked about it, and I wanted someone to talk about it, and I wanted Toby to get involved, and you know what? He's going to. Here's Toby with his little segment about that match.
Thank you so much, Martin and D-Man. This match, you want to say 90% of it was all about what I've marked right here, the crater. What eventually became the WTS crater and the crater of death for a whole hell of a lot of other teams. But looking at the beginning of the game, if we go to the start, the first real interaction we actually get with that area is Liquid. Moving up there early on, you see Jeems, he's actually going to be the player to go down and take that crater control. Not an area we oftentimes see Liquid play from. They like to play the compounds around here, but very rare to see an aggressive team like Liquid go for that center position, because you are exposed once all the eyes are on you down in that pit. Now what happens is they sit around here, Jeems shoots at a few teams before he then leaves again. Thing here being, at this point you have a lot of teams around the crater, but I don't think anyone's well aware that there's no one down here anymore. No one saw Jeems leave. So all the teams that are playing around the crater are playing with the thought of, okay, there's a guy in the crater, we're not even going to peek into it, because once we peek over this road, we're going to be dead. No one's going to peek that area, we're just going to leave it by itself. That's all good for now. The only team that doesn't do that is these guys that just arrived in the area, WGSG. They come over the top, and of course, once you're into a new area, what you're going to do, you're going to scout your way forward. They go up, they look around, they go, well, there's not really anything happening in the very center area of the map. Why exactly shouldn't we just go play from there? They end up doing that. And as a result, another fun thing being they rarely ever play this position. We've had circles very similar in this area of the map before in scrims and practice games where you guys know WGSG. They want to go out killing, and they know by taking this center position, that's normally a, well, we're going to get to 5, but most likely we won't get more than a couple of kills. They managed to convert that in the late game. I'm not going to go into that, but these guys, they went into a compound in an area where they actually would normally be one of those teams that opt to stick around on the edge. Because if we go all the way to phase 6, when have you ever seen a 6th phase with 2.5 team inside the circle? Everyone is forced to play around the edges. It becomes chaotic. We see Exodus, they were crashing down on phase, obliterating them within seconds, all kinds of chaos. In the meantime, the guys down here, they were chilling, they were raiding, and they popped off late game. WGSG, impressive to watch you guys play right now. And what a hell of a game they've got going.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. And you know, we said it ourselves, like Jeeves was there I know a team that would have been there would have been Digital Athletics. They would have been in that crater. They would have been in that compound. 100% 6mo would have took them there. But unfortunately, he's at home watching his tournament, probably with a bit of a sad face watching that one play out, because we watched him in the regionals. That exact circle. Well, it pulled over a little bit further to the west last time. But they crashed that compound straight away. So yeah.
Always hate to see teams not coming here due to visa issues.
Yeah,
it always sucks, but we still honor them by talking about their plays. Definitely, they've been stepping up some of their positions and their positional plays overall. They're a center-heavy team, and the meta is just working. You can see WTSG. We were talking about it during the cast. They prioritized having a center position and just saying, you know what, we'll take the placement game for this and not so many kills. They ended up with 7. The vast majority they got in the end of the game.
Well, Froz trying to give some wise words or just flash his butt, I'm not too sure, to the camera. Either way, Ivor spotted us. Let's have a look at the points and see how things stand after that dominant performance once again from WTSG. They are nailing it so far, but hot on their heels. I feel Team Liquid and Singularity are going to be moving back up and trying to chase them down. Omicron with just those 3 kills. It is going to be a tough task for anybody to chase down WTSG right now with that 17-point victory. And as Toby said, it is that committal. You said it yourself in the game. Once you go in that crater, you generally don't pick up kills. We did see Chong actually getting nailed quite a few times as he was trying to go aggressive. And then that is the danger in the crater. You go aggressive, you get knocked. He got back on his feet, luckily with the help of Iro. Let's see how the current standings are. Oh my god, it is a 50-point lead on second place. That is immense. If any, I'll tell you what, I think the biggest we've had is a 60-point in one day. That is a mega chase, but look how close it is. Just between even, I'm going to go all the way down to Na'Vi, up to second place. That's just 26 points. That is still very much
so
anyone's game in that area, but WTSG, they are starting to etch the W on that trophy.
That is, that's an impressive lead. We have 7 more games to go, but that's. I mean, they obviously they have to completely throw them over.
They have to choke. Yeah. They have to choke hard. Yeah.
Or another team have to step up and take 3-4 wins. But second place, 2 points, 1 point. It's a shared second place right now with a tiebreak off the kill.
That could have been big. If Team Liquid would have come out obviously on top, if it had played out a little differently, then they would have closed that gap even more. You would think, okay, it's Liquid time. This game could be massive. Obviously, the end game of the day, everybody wants to come out with a high moral advantage. WTSG certainly on high grounds right now. The question is, can anybody chase them down? Will we see maybe them go out in 16th place and Team Liquid pick up the win, and then suddenly things are open right up. Omicron go and pick up a win. Omicron are going to have to redirect back over to Valadomar, I feel, with the circle, the plane path the way it is, dead center. Decent plane paths for pretty much everyone once again. We've had some kind plane paths.
They've been nice to us today
so far, yeah.
I like the kind plane paths that opens
Exalt
up everything for them.
Exalt changed. They've gone up to Toro Armada. We don't see too many people going up that way anymore.
Oh, it's kind of rare also because it's so far away from the usual circles. Again, a northern plane path, we've seen tendencies with the plane path that the circles usually can be close to them. That's the tendencies, at least, especially in pro play. But here with the central plane cutting down the middle, we can have the circle anywhere. I'm hoping for a special one. Look at this one, though. Please don't
go. Please don't go to Melman.
No, you remember the M19 compounds we've had so many of? They could be some of these.
Up in crater fields.
I would love to see some of the La Cabrera crater fields, some of these special endings we rarely see, but I would like to call this already now that we're probably going to see a northwest of El Paso ending. Yeah, look at that M19 compound right here. the amount of wins they had from there, 2 or 3 just in that players. Well played, good to see from you guys. The observers always nailing it down. They know exactly what we're talking about. We've seen a lot of endings just east of Trailer Park. Well, and that's kind of where most of the teams are expecting to go. Already FaZe is already moving now. They're not going to be looting for a long time. 2 minutes in, they're already sending a few guys up there, and then he's going to be looting that compound instead. That's FaZe leading the charge.
So Wildcard, you can see them here in the power grid. They're loving life. Obviously, they've been clashing with Tornado Energy a long way. They've been giving the banter. Let's see what their main aim is for this tournament.
In terms of what team we like to wipe, you know, it's gotta be the boys from down under, Atletico. They're pretty easy to kill. And then they sit right next to us, so you can hear Zoid crying in the background when we kill him most of the time. So it's a good time.
Keenan with
the
some
banters.
shots.
Yeah.
I love it. That's some fun to hear, but obviously Atletico have had a rough game. They've in 13th place, 33 points. They need to have some amazing games tomorrow to get into the prize pool. Keenan though, always in for some laughs and some banter. We saw him, jabbing a little bit at Kickstart. We had some halftime interviews that are quite funny just because of this. Always nice to see some of the banter and the memes throwing around. The community is always super close and super friendly. I love to see that.
So let's talk about this circle. Obviously, with the plane path, it was pretty much a direct central plane path. Everybody spread out their own location. Now, the problem is, the central point is north of Pozo in this circle. So rotations, you've got to be thinking a lot of people are going to be trying to swing it far west or deep north.
Exactly.
Or what sort of routes are they going to be picking here?
So when we have a central plane path like this, obviously the majority of the teams are going to be on the eastern or kind of the majority of the eastern. It's going to be so heavily populated, so the teams that are making the big brain plays, they're moving in as far west or as far north as possible and play from the western side, because that's where the least populated areas are going to be like, and they can get so much more space from that. See here on the map, Phosphase already knows, what, I'm going to take this compound here. I've seen 9 million endings once we've had the El Paso, this start circle. We've seen so many ending ups in there, up in this area here, so this is a big brain play from Phosphase. He knew he had to go there early. Probably going to have the time to loot it as well, because he's not going to be contested. But I would love to see some special endings. The creator feels always super interesting to see. Even the double creators is interesting to see. Or even El Paso, deep El Paso urban endings, also super fun to see.
Liquid just pulling up there, scouting, seeing if FaZe had left Monte Nuevo. They have. Everybody happy here. Wildcard also taking the northern swing, but it is shots already. Oath and Atletico on top of one another at the Bendita crater. They do realize the circle's not here anymore. Hello.
Hi there.
I don't think Wolf had any meds, bless him. Or certainly didn't have time to get those meds off. Yep.
That's unfortunate. Well, it's only one helmet, so he's going to take a lot of damage for it, but nearly got the knock on him. Unfortunately, didn't happen though. But metagaming playing just on the very top of the creator fields. We've not seen a lot of innings. We have seen, if you remember, I think it was actually you casting one of the innings we had just up here, just south of the creator fields. We've seen some very interesting endings, but they are rare due to the circle settings, due to the circumstances that are around the fourth circle.
I seem to remember PGI had like a big circle finish around there somewhere.
Yeah,
as
we
well
also had one of those. Yeah, that's true.
Many, many moons ago. That was... Let's go back some time now. Very different game back then, of course. We do still have the teams dribbling their way in, slowly but surely, up into the north. Oh, hello. Ival may have a couple of pots on James as he goes past. I'm not too sure. Certainly the Red Canins are taking shots on Team Liquid as they work their way in. Here comes Singularity and Shoot to Kill, all going on the north side. La Cabrera. It's a dangerous town. We've seen many finishes in and around this area with that big wall coming into play in La Cabrera. I think most teams will try to avoid this area and maybe not go in there. We'll see. Exalt way out in the north. This is what I wanted to see. This is what I was expecting. Go out round the Oasis and come deep, deep north into this one. Kodak gets a decent amount of shots on Ilo, but Purdy Curdy returns fire.
Kodak, one of the big 18-year-old talents on this team. Definitely one of the guys proving up a big performance here. Well, he has information in Liquid. He's just going to let them pass here. There's no when he's behind them, they're moving into the circle. They're in front of him in the circle. If he gives us information that they are behind him, he's just saying, you know what, guys, just stop. Just camp us, because we're going to be coming into the circle later, and we potentially free points. So this is information gathering, and this is the most important in the first two phases, especially as in co-IGL or IGL, to gather this information, relay it back to the team.
He certainly knows they're there. He's just unsure who it is. He was ahead of them. Watch them with the rest of the team now all coming up. Everybody else down south making their way up there. Atletico, IG, Exodus. FaZe have got themselves a really nice split. And is it going to be the central position next? Who knows? But they have got their vehicles in safely. And they have a quick, easy escape route to the edge of crater if they need it, if it pulls that way. It could, of course, pull to the hillside outside Cabrera. We've seen it going that way a number of times. We've also seen it pull directly into the crater, which has been bonkers. Or, I believe, in Scrim's post, the regional finals, regional qualifiers, we had a big Pozo finish that Toby covered.
Oh yeah, I love poster finishes. But Singularity, they are putting some pressure onto the Exalt guys right now. So they are aware of their movement and their positioning here. Navi though, Senya. Here's Naleb, and he's gonna take some shots straight up. Double. He's actually jumping out. So a headshot, and then he's gonna jump out. Naleb. He might have tried to seed swap, but didn't work out. But maybe it was a panic F button there. But Naleb's gonna go down. That's Exalt losing one, and then they're gonna be fully aware where they are. And Senya had the nearest teammate he has is 500 meters or more away. Tap is slowly going to be moving towards him. So El Diablo just finished off one.
Navi on your screens there. Very much the last minute call up. 11 AM, I believe it was, the day before the tournament. They were told, get your butts to Stockholm. You want to play in this tournament? Come on, get it. And yeah, very last minute for them. So we certainly are grateful that they're here because nobody wanted a 15-team tournament, that's for sure. It would kind of suck.
Yeah, I love seeing this new Navi team play here. The last game really, they put them up there. They've had 4 fourth placements, 2 third placements here. So this last,
it's actually helped them improve as a team. I think
like
coming here, like while they had some rough qualifications to get here. Obviously, they have the PGS qualifiers coming up themselves, so they need this is effectively a great training ground for them.
All right, next circle lead. We're going to see where we're going to go. Oh,
oof, Pozo.
Centering on Pozo here.
Ooh, is it going to be my dream finish? I do love an urban close quarter combat finish myself. Obviously, the teams detest it, but look at this. They are committing to Pozo already. This is very unusual. Phase 2, to see this many teams committing to the edge of Pozo is pretty ludicrous, but they've all been in scrims multiple times. There is a lot of ground to play in Pozo. It is a large, large city. I think the second biggest on the map outside of Los Leones, which of course is a mega city. We do already see teams getting caught in transition.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams already deeply committing into Pozo. Wildcard on the edges on the west side. It's going to be insane. 5, 6 with them. Metagaming's close to it as well. The rest of the teams are going to be fighting on the edge here. I would love to see a hard shift away just to see the full chaos. Imagine it hard shifting up north and then ending on the M19 compounds that the phase they left. But this is very much shaping up to be an El Pozo ending. We will see though. Has to be Page. Can you hold this down? Fight's already happening. Omak and Faceland are very close to each other.
Yeah, building to building, close quarters. It could go any way as Vasco tries to get the quick drop on them, but Gustav was ready and waited as soon as that door swung open. Page looking, is he going to vault out? He's going to try and pop at the window and catch his Fuzz off guard. Straight through the window. 80's going for the siege though, and they've lost players. Uber finishes off Vasco, so they're down to 3 at the moment, but FaZe also in trouble. Page using a lot of knowledge to catch out. Can he catch Uber in transition? The timing to get Uber across. And Fudge should get back on his feet, but this nade, he's got to hit the window. Can he? Look, he's lining up. That's such a good nade.
Rough one to pitch, especially from up. Like the angling is so rough. If he made it, it could have been a knock on both of them. He's not going to use one more, or maybe even if he had it, but there's a Molotov going in there. Well, Fuzz making himself. They're actually getting all 4 members back up alive here. Vasco's already been flushed. Sharp shot from Narnia, shooting him top 3 times hit. Page is down to just 25 HP. Barrel going out. T1's going to take down Gustav.
Yeah, that's a tough, rough push to make. And that molly into the door. He's going to try and pop around the side. He's going to try and pop it through the window, but Compot gets eyeballed down. Oh my word. And that is the danger of the close quarters. It looks like Gustav will just about survive in this molly. I don't think it quite spread to him. Oh, you lucky son.
It's not tree. The cover on the layout is not tree, so it's carpet. It doesn't spread as well.
Because obviously carpet doesn't light up like a tree would.
No, a little bit, yeah. Not as good. And also, you see, I mean, it was a metal door that he chucked the Molotov at. It would have been broken if it was the tree door. But, yeah. Unfortunate though for Ival, he's going to be taken off by Example, finish off. So now Omaken is down to just 2 guys without any kills. Patcaps on the other side of the map is going to take down Extreme.
Little peek around there, Uber get knocked. We just backed away from it, but Balefrost and Exodus on the move. And again, FaZe. I tell you what, most of them have been knocked. They're going to try and push it once again. 80 down as well. Omicron, they are deadly in close quarters. They are doing so well. They've just been unable to finish him off. This time, they get the kills. Oh, that nade! It's come straight on Page. It was a flash. Luckily, he manages to avoid it. Second one comes through. But Page now down to a 2-on-2 as he prays to the white mecha god that is the toilet.
All right, so the next circle has shifted slightly north, but with the fourth circle coming into effect, it's most likely going to jump back into El Paso, kind of what we're expecting. Could also just go anywhere, depending on how the circle goes go. But the tendency we've seen a fair share of these northern circles shift back into El Paso because of the high grounds and etc. The tendencies of the circle. Exalt very far west, but more teams are committing to the northern side of El Paso now. Well, Wildcard is going in. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have about half of the teams are in there already.
A team that is benefiting the most from this is obviously, well, two teams I would say, is WTSG, who are sitting watching FaZe Clan and Omakan go at it. Omakan obviously hot on their heels. Well, hot, 50 points is not really hot on their heels, but they're on their heels. And along with Team Liquid, they're both looking at that kill feed thinking this is playing out so well for us. There is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams in Pozo. With Team Liquid out north, Singularity north, Na'Vi on the Crates fields, and Meta up on the north, and Shoot to Kill semi-committing with Oath out on the east. So if this pulls to the edge of the crater where Meta are right now, which is pretty much the central point, it is going to be a massacre on the edge of Pozo.
We'll see what's going to happen there. Liquid is still betting on it going completely northwest, sitting in the M19 double compounds. Look at this overhead shot here. I love this. Red is playing a 2-2 split. Tornado Energy is actually quite close to each other, playing the 5-star area and some of the other compounds around it. Wildcard committing to the container area or to the northwest, I believe it is, already over there inside games. Is trying to get further, and FaZe has one of the members there. Omaken has split a bit further south, but it's going to be a fight for position all super early here in the third circle. Na'Vi on the north, they're trying to get further in Singularity, completely far up in the northwest. They're saying, you know what, we're not going to go into El Paso. It's already too much of a massacre. And Fuzzface is sitting alone, just waiting for his meds to pull him up to full HP. Exalt has also committed to the north, to the side. You see here in the minimap, Monkey, Schiff is sitting in there, the Frenchman duo, the two insane players from France.
So everybody inside the circle, there's going to be really no movements other than a couple just positioning. Pixel is kind of going room to room. He's in the next room across right now, but he's in loot mode.
Oh, kickstart!
Maybe looking out. Zampeak has been picked off, so that's going to pull the rest of IG's attention. So Fuzz might be able to creep in on them. So where do we go? Where do we go? Oh, okay. That's great for Team Liquid. Fuzz has been taken down, so that's FaZe out in 16th. It's going to be just a 2-point game for them. So another really low-scoring match. Singularity, they're on the move. They're just going to go on the edge side. The north side, Team Liquid would love to get a bit of revenge on them after the previous round. But Na'Vi and Meta, everybody that committed, now I've got to think of how do we get out of this mess.
Exalt already moving on the west. They're taking their cars. They still have all their cars, so they're going to be playing off the west. See if they can take a reposition on the western side. But they have to cross the road, and that could be very rough, especially pushing Liquid. But we're going to have a massacre, D-Man. We're going to have an insane massacre in El Paso.
Exalt are crashing. Are they going to crash? Shiv's going in. Shiv and Monkey are going in. They're going into Team Liquid. They're going to crash straight in there. And it's a tough compound to hold because it has this big high back wall that the cars can just move straight up to. So Team Liquid, not really a response. Now Mexi and Ibi are not here, so it's effectively a 2v3 for Team Liquid. K-Mine, though, makes it even. Sees Udyr off in the distance. Does he realize that Shiv is up close? He heard one car. Udyr's trying to get the alpha angle, and Jeems has this one covered.
Jeems in a good position. He's going to jump onto the nice mechanical movement. He's going to see one. He's going to see you there. Can he make it happen, though? He knows where the car is. He's going to go for the car with the nade.
Well cooked.
Good nade here. He's going to bounce perfect, potentially. Oh, not close enough. Camera angle cheated us a little bit. Shiv got Ibi, so now it's just Jeems in this compound.
Singularity are pushing Mexi as well, so Singularity are pushing the other compound to get Team Liquid hold. So they're asking for help. Jeems looks out the window, but he's got to deal with Exalt that are on his back door. So Mexi is kind of on his own at the moment.
Look at that. Welcome to Sar George as well. We're seeing Mexi here, but welcome to Sar George. Meanwhile, have made a really good move, taking the central part of northern El Paso, just around the little edges here. Iros towards the small shack, and the other guys are holding it. They're trying to get all the kills that are going to have to get out of El Paso. They made this move early. Sparking's going to find Iro, though, so they're down to 2.
Couldn't get in the shack. Just about got there, but instantly got taken down, and there was multiple people shooting at that shack, so it means they will be down to 3. Shoot to kill. They've snuck around the edge of Crater Fields. They're going to come in behind Meta. So while Meta are looking this way, they've got to check their backs. Vard's going to try and go for it. And this is the danger. If you're the first team to leave El Pozo in this sort of setup, everybody is looking at you. Everybody is seeing that way. They can't get him up, and Vard will go down as well. That shack of death at the moment. Is Sean going to go for it? I don't think so. It's going to be Snaky Sampu time.
Samu time, yeah.
Giving him a different name.
Sean, obviously alone. If he has a 2-seed, he could send it, but Vegas actually taking a good position just south. Mexi has been knocked. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 2 versus 2 with Exalt in the compound. They're going to be fighting for it. Liquid are looking great. They should probably just have played 4 guys in the big warehouse rather than trying to hold it 2-2. This could play a big role for them just later. They're obviously trying to chase down WTSG. Their shared points with Omicron before this game. But Tornado Energy,
when you see it
right now, they have the best position. Tornado Energy, they're sitting on the furthest northern point with a good amount of covers. They're trying to get the best position for when the circle is going to go away from them. Try to get off all these points that are currently waiting inside El Paso.
When you see it from that angle, you think, wow, Shong really has absolutely nothing to play with there. Suddenly like that, Sparking and Ostrolovac take the kills away as the 2 WTSG men play out. We may be seeing Sean going down here. He's getting lit up by Rusty Zero from behind. It's an open run. Oh, he's out of bullets. Get the reload. You got time. Go for it. Go again. Oh, he's hit the dirt. He's hit the dirt. So Exodus a move. They made the move. We already saw Vegas in there, but I think Balefrost is actually going to pull up to the warehouse. Mexi is down. He's going to bleed out in a second. Singularity have not committed to that warehouse.
Balefrost got the kill.
Yet. Stole it away. So now, who commits to where? The warehouse could be huge in this next play out. Obviously, shoot to kill on the move. But this is where all the action is going to happen. Down in Pozo, all these teams need to move out. Nobody's in the circle. Wooly is committed. Wildcard are leaving. So IG may be able to catch Keenan in the back as they try and blast away from this one. He will. Keenan will go down to free kill. John continues to try and sneak in.
Yeah, and they send 3 guys to the center shack here with all the loot. There's 2 WTSG members sitting with the loot. Nade is going to try to flush Keenan. Is going to take him down.
Omicron, Athletico, Exodus, Red Canids, Tornado Energy. They're all still in El Pozo. They're all still trying to work out in towards IG. Singularity takedown Team Liquid as they make the move up the north. They get taken down in 13th place, so WTSG actually outlasts them despite the fact it is just Chong, the last man standing. Atletico, they take down Omicron. Omicron go down. This is playing perfectly for WTSG once again. All the contenders, all the challengers. And remember how close it was between 9th to 2nd, just 20 points. Anyone could pick up a big win and sneak into that 2nd place.
Yeah, it's going to be great for them now. Shang is pushing the 3-man shack off Wildcard. Does he have a nade now? Shoot to kill is going to take down, or now he's going to be taken down by shoot to kill. And Metagaming is up there as well. VHC and the guys from Meta there. 4 guys alive. Archulova is going to take down Nick. Massive fight here in the south is going to happen soon.
This is mega for Singularity. They could move into 2nd place here. If they can take down Exodus, this could be huge. Red Canids get a big old hit there, but instantly, I think, did he drop the nade? I think he dropped the nade. Uh-oh. Try and crawl away from that one. I don't think it's going to happen. John just picked up a double on Wildcard. Wooly and Kickstart down. And Chong, while he's on his own, he is a very active snake, will finally be taken down by VHC, so 11th place for them. This could be huge. Singularity still with 4 alive. They're continuing to try and pick up kills. They're lighting up Udir as he goes down the south side and tries to swing around. Now the nades from IG, they're trying to keep everybody at bay. In Pozo, they still have Exodus in there. You still have Atletico Flood in there. You still have the Tornado Energy guys trying to work their way out.
This could be a massive game from LATAM. Look at it. Metagaming has high ground. Singularity has the western side. They're going to be able to sweep in here. We can see a massive game for these two. The Singularity could be pushing themselves even further in.
Wow. This legit could be Singularity moving into 2nd place here. They have a mega chance gifted to them now. They have 4 alive. They have to deal with Exodus, who have 3 currently. I think is it 2 or 3 inside there. It's just Vegas and Balefrost. I say just. They're 2 mega players themselves that they have to deal with now.
Udu is laying on the southwestern side, trying to get some placement points as well for this. Na'Vi in the northeast, they could make something happen as well. Now Meta is repositioning. They're aware that Na'Vi was up here. They're fighting shoot to kill earlier. Wildcard threw 2 guys alive. They managed to get the rest off. But now everybody has to move out of the remnants of the El Paso shacks and the cars and the rest of the kind of fields down here. It means that Tornado Energy and Inside Games are going to have to potentially fight each other or be taken down by Meta, who's still sitting on the high ground, just hammering down bullets at them.
Shin not able to land anything from the church tower. They're going to have to move sooner or later. They're on the far edge, and that's why he's staying. He knows the rest of his team. Sparking's the one that's repositioning. Hayagon and PHZ are also on the move.
He saw him running down to the just left of him. After coming in here, he saw Rusty Sarah run. He's seeing him if he zooms out. Depending on his FOV as well, he could potentially, but obviously he's focusing somewhere else. Potentially see him here. Pixel's going to be pushed off by Tornado Energy. Can they make something happen? Pixel is going to be found by Example. It's going to be him out. Kickstart's going to take down Sparking. This is a big opener for Wildcard.
Yeah, that's Sparking. He was trying to get the reposition for Meta, so suddenly they may be locked out of position here by Wildcard. And now V have repositioned as well. Took themselves a more central position as Kemba, Tab, and Bestalosh still continue to work their way down as the other CIS members of Tornado Energy look up that hill. They have to deal with Meta. Everybody, unfortunately, is looking Meta's way. I don't think they're going to be able to silhouette down this hill safely.
6 kills so far for Tornado Energy. Rusty Sarah is going to find Kaishin. That's so unfortunate for Meta. They should have prioritized taking a better position on the high ground rather than trying to keep shooting at the guys that had cover. Rusty Sarah is going to be found by Higuin. He's going to try to finish him off. Zone. That's Zone's going to take him off. That's Red Can is down in 8th. Now the placement points, they start to get heavier here. It's going to close slowly. Meta still have to move. They're not inside the new circle. Neither is Example actually. So you'll also have to make a reposition, but he's going to be able to get to the other guys. The next circle is going to really define what's going to happen toward the late game. Singularity has been very passively waiting to see if they have to make a move or they have to start shooting everybody else. But there are 4 guys alive as the only team.
Yeah, they want to try and pick up some kills if they need to try and get the chase on WTSG. All the real big 4-5 contenders up on the top.
This is an insane nade. Ooh.
Just a little short. Harold, though, has gone down. That is big. Vegas opening up the knockdown on Singularity. Kodak not gone for the revive yet either. And looks like Navi were going to try and steal it away. So the warehouse is now in play. Wildcard engage onto Tornado Energy. That nade should be right on Sharpshot's back. It will. Takes a big old slice of health off him, but not quite enough to knock him. And Ali is going to have to go for the second.
One more nade coming out. Oh, Sharpshot has spotted him as well. This is a big opening here. Whoever gets this knock with the nade, oh yeah, he completely reads that. Udi is still inside the zone actually. Sharpshot, more nades. Remember, they picked up 20 dead bodies in that shack there. And there was so much loot to be taken off. So
it was WTSG in the shack, so there was going to be like 30, 40 grenades in there. There's so much to play with. But yeah, they've managed to get a couple of knocks, but it hasn't worked out for them. VHC, Meta still being a pain in the backside by everyone. They're way outside the circle. They have to move, but they're well aware that simply all they got to play for is get kills right now because they're dead. As soon as they show themselves, they're going to go down and they should get picked off. It'll be Vegas who'll get one. A Sharpshot will steal that kill away, actually, and here Gwyn is going to be the last man. Singularity now looking to make the move and try and get into this next circle, a better position while everybody looks towards these hills.
Energy on the southern side, and Singularity is trying to get a fight onto Exodus, but Exodus is just focusing on the kills here. Higuin is, look at all the shots coming towards Higuin. Metagame is going to go down. That's going to be Example finding that. We're down to 16. Now the fight between Wildcard and Tornado Energy continues. Kickstart with a great shot. Straight headshot with the SLR.
That shack is not inside though, so they're going to have to leave it. They're trying to smoke their approach and see if they can get out. Here Gwen gets Balefrost down. The nade comes in, but now V are on the backs of Singularity. That's only north, while in the south here we have Tornado Energy and Wildcard looking to try and go, but Wildcard have to move. You can see Sharpshot smoking it. Example's nade. It's going to go in, but it hit that rock and it won't bounce far enough, and it will slow things down. Back to the north side. Balefrost down, but Kodak moves in. He should be able to get the spray down. He will. They deal with Exodus, but they may well have lost Quick in the process.
Exam is going to go down as well to Kodak. They're going to be able to turn around now. Singularity could make this happen still. They have some open ground in between them, but they're still inside the zone here. The next zone is going to define a lot. Kodak some more shots towards Tornado Energy. Navi still in this. They're playing it very slowly, but they have to push. They're trying to get a potential angle onto Wildcard. Wildcard is not aware of this. They're not looking towards them. They're looking towards the west.
Singularity could well be the first team to get the Chicken Dinner World Tour if they can pick this up. And it's a big if, because there's still a lot to play with here with 12 alive and multiple teams with short amount of members. Na'Vi are looking to try and get it. Alia down. Kodak managing to land that shot. Harold popping off onto Na'Vi, and that gives them the opportunity. Whack-a-mole it is. Na'Vi peek down. Singularity move towards the center of this circle as they try and get themselves a reposition.
Example has to heal up. Alia could potentially be picked
Pome's
up.
going to molly.
Look at this, Pome. They're picking him up, they're pushing on it. Now Na'Vi has been spotted by Singularity. They have to make this fight happen. Tap, shooting back. He has to start making heal. Pome has to start hitting the ground. Nice flashbang there. Didn't get as much effect.
Really good flashbang. I think it's just trying to stop them, trying to prevent them pushing, because it absolutely needed to. Bestalosh was downed as well. He needed to get some health off. Tab had to get some health off, so it's worked out well, but look at this flank. This could be good. He's going for the ridgeline on the left here. Kodak's going to get a perfect angle on Na'Vi. Harold's just going to hold their attention. Just a little peek, just a little shot. Hold their attention. They have to worry about what's going on down south because Tornado Energy is still there. But now, look at this. Harold's just pickling it. There's the flash. Harold and Kodak around to push. There's the push around the side. Up comes Kodak. Should get the spray down. Hits the dirt, but it's not enough. That's going to be tabbed down. Bestalosh is spotted. And this is so well played by Singularity. It's so rare that we get to see this from the South American teams. The LATAM region performing well, but Tornado Energy is trying to benefit from this.
Kompot pushing in. Pome's going to try to get one up. He's going to take down more. Oh my god, this is so good for Tornado Energy. Perfect third party for them. Kodak's going to try to finish it off to secure the points, but Tornado Energy is just storming in. Meanwhile, Udyr in the back, he's just surviving more and more. Tornado Energy on 10 kills.
They're doing what they can. Bestalosh, the molly comes in. Kompot knows where he is, sees him down low, gets the double headshot, but Kodak lands a big old slice of damage on him. Pome down, but Kodak's the last man. Can he get the heals off? He's going to try and go for the smoke there, but look, Udyr shooting them in the back. He gets Alia down, and Tornado Energy have to swing around and say, where the hell did Exalt come from? We didn't realize that he was still back there, so suddenly they have to pay their attention, and it buys time for Kodak to get Pome back up, and it's going to be 2 men for Singularity.
A 2 versus 1 now. Singularity can back on the feet here, and now Tornado Energy has to focus on Udyr. Actually, Udyr has so much cover, but Tornado Energy is the closest position here. Now Singularity can be pushing on Tornado Energy. Can they make something happen? He's smoking. He's making aware of himself now, though. So opening it up. Kodak. Oh, he spotted him with the jump.
Sees them, goes for the spray. Kompot can't manage to land the headshot that he wanted with the 4-time spray. Has to hit the dirt, but it's not quick enough as Kodak goes down. The circle moving in. Pome comes around the side, will get one, but can he get the second? He sees Kompot down there. No! Doesn't make it count. Kompot will land, and it's a 1-on-1. Exalt, he's got himself into the rock position, and Exalt could pick up himself a win. They see the man, can't manage to land the shots. Mini 14 on Kompot.
Steals the kill there. Wait, 1 nade, 2 nades actually. He has 2 nades. This could be a massive nade.
It's well cooked. Has it gone too far? It does. He's going to cook it a little more. Kompot's going to, hey, has to push it. Kompot has to push it and it puts him into open territory. The nade lands.
Damage.
Ducks a chunk of it. Has he got time to med up? I don't think so. The blue's on his back, but Udyr doesn't realize that he's moved to the right.
Udyr is closer to the center here. He knows.
He's looking to the rock. He doesn't realize he's pushed. Did he just see him? What POV does he have? I don't know. The FOV and Kompot lands the shot. Trashes his name, but he delivers this time with 14 kills for Tornado Energy and the Chicken Dinner.
Such a well-executed third party by Udyr. Unfortunate for him to not be able to connect the grenades there, but so well played for them. Massive game for Tornado Energy. We have seen them being able to perform again and again, but here, the first time for them to step up to this level and take home a Chicken Dinner.
Get themselves their first big win. We've seen it, as you say, time and time again. They've delivered online, and they certainly stepped it up in their PEL promos in Phase 3. Unfortunately for them, the league is not going to happen, so they're not able to get there, of course. But Exalt, a second place for them. They're going to be happy with that, the way it played out. You know, they made that big push early on Team Liquid, came out on top in that fight with a little help from Singularity, and just quietly bided their time. It totally caught them off guard, and it was just down to a simple 1-on-1. Could easily have been their points. They've got themselves a big slice. Remember, they were down in, 5th place, I think, before this game played out, along with Singularity, who were in 6th. So, big points. It's going to close that top sort of 9, I would say, effectively, down once again. But the team that's still sitting pretty, didn't really get gained on too much by anyone now. They're going to be going into the final day well in the lead.
No, as you said, Omakin, Liquid, Shoot to Kill, they all went out early. Ixalt was the closest member to get some points here. They're getting 9. That means they're going to go up to 84 points. It's still going to be a massive lead for WTSG. Udyr is obviously super unhappy with him not being able to clutch it, but 9 points for them is going to be extremely important, and they're going to be able to be very close to the second place right now.
24 points for Team Tornado Energy there. They were down in 12th place.
Yeah.
That's going to shoot them possibly just outside the money or maybe just in it.
Yeah.
You know, they are a team that absolutely can pop off on a day. They can step it up and really push their money up. I'm not saying they're going to be able to challenge because it's going to be another mega day of 60-plus points, but it's definitely going to shoot them with the money. And a team like Tornado and stuff like that and Singularity, etc., this is massive money for these guys.
Obviously, we've seen them be able to perform before. They were amazing in the promos, as you said. I'm happy to see them step up to this level here. They have had a rough tournament until now. They're going to be taking more than 50% of their points, added that to their current points. As you said, close to the money. I want to see them continue this because they're playing in the PGS qualifiers next week. They have to step up to this level that we just saw to qualify even further.
A big slice of their kills, they benefited obviously from the grinder that was Pozo. It's so rare that you get to see it. I was very surprised by Phase 2 that so many teams, I think it was 6 teams that committed to Pozo at Phase 2 on the edge of it. It's a big city, you can sit around the edge of it, but I was very surprised to see so many so early on committing to that city.
They usually don't commit to cities until you're 100% sure it's going to end there. It did center up very nicely on El Paso, but again, we can see some shifts away. Third circle kind of defines where we're going to end, but committed too early made it really rough for them. Tornado Energy being able to get out alive with that many kills and take home the chicken dinner, extremely impressive.
Well, that's it for us today, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we're going to have a quick break and come back to the desk to break us through all those 6 games that are played out today. Join us in a few.
Day 2 is done, and what a battle we have had on all the battlefields, except Vikendi. Don't get me started. But it was Miramar to shut down the day, and shut down indeed. Singularity looked consistent. WTSG finally falling in the 6th game and giving maybe someone else a chance at this, to be completely frank with you. And Tornado Energy swept and took the momentum, but we'll start on Game 4. Because that's where it ultimately all picked up after lunchtime. Oath versus Liquid, good battle between the two of them. WTSG, again though, in that one was remarkable. And we look back at some of the action, you can see why Zhong even managing to sneak in late. Considering that WTSG lost members early, they still had 11 kills in that game. And then he just stays alive to get the placement points. Pretty remarkable.
Yeah, no, it was a very impressive play. I mean, good to see from every team that played in that one. And WTSG is just... I mean, through the next 3 highlights that we're going to see, WTSG just shows why they're proving to be an unstoppable force.
Yeah, I mean, the first game, obviously, it's Zhong back to doing what, historically Samty does best. And,
yes. I don't know who's Samty.
Yeah, my bad, sorry. Picking up some vital placement points that, again, they don't really need.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's
right?
Too much.
But it just goes to show you, I guess, sort of the depth that team has. The fact that they first off, they get 11 kills early.
Right. Yeah.
They're already way in the lead. Usually we've been seeing them sweep up the late game kills. They get the early kills, and then Samty Zhong goes, well, all right, back to old habits. I'll just sneak in. And then at that point, just staying alive is enough. 11 kills is already massive. Every person he out survives was huge in that situation.
Well, and this is where we start to see sort of the differential of the boards. I think we see SDK has the win there with 8 kills, so great for them. Omakin with 11, also putting in some good work. So now we're sort of seeing that middle of the board stretch itself out. It's going to still be very tight, but this is that part of the day where we see the bottom half of sort of the leaderboard. I don't want to say become irrelevant, but they now become wild cards. They have, coming into tomorrow, they can try anything they want. They can try to prepare for the next qualifier. They can try to take some risks, because I think that middle of the board is very solidified, and unfortunately for the people in the middle, the top of the board's feeling even more so.
Yeah, I mean, WTSC, again, I think they're still sat around 50 points clear. I mean, we haven't seen the updated leaderboard just yet, but again, other than the last game, obviously still just consistently placing top 5.
We will...
The end game, all I was going to say there, with the end game with Liquid, probably one of the best setups I've seen in a 3v4 situation.
And we will get to that. I want to break that down. We're also going to take a look. We'll get the overall leaderboard in a minute. Obviously, we've got some math going on in the background. The API does its thing, but then it gets confirmed. Shoot to Kill ended up winning this game, which was, I think, very needed for them. We've talked about them kind of being hot and cold in this event. If I'm not mistaken, that's their second chicken dinner. So they've had one each day, but it's been the inconsistencies in between. The good news is we got to hear it from their perspective because Kat Conti was standing by with the winners after that game.
All right, I'm joined now on the floor with STK's Purdy Curdy. Nice game, by the way. Talk to me about something, because I believe in North America, for some reason, you guys are always fighting each other. How does it feel, or does it feel great to actually beat a team like Wildcard in those kind of situations?
Yeah, it's mainly Wildcard. I don't know if it's all of North America, but it's always great to beat Wildcard. I'm good friends with Wooly, and to be able to talk some trash to him is always a good time.
We love a good rivalry out here. Now, take me through those final moments. Did you guys know that there were multiple teams, or did you think that it was a two-team situation?
Yeah, we actually thought Omnikin was 3-up, and we didn't realize Welcome to South George was still alive, so that was a little confusing. We messed that up a little bit, but we got through it, obviously.
Well, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. You guys won one on Anarangle and on Miramar. Hopefully you guys can get one on Sanok, and that is all from the floor.
So here's a look at the scores from strictly that game, the first Miramar game, game 4 in the day, as it were. Game 10 of 18 in the overall context. Shoot to Kill, pick up the win, 10 points, 8 kills, 18 in total. Omikin does well. They get 11 kills in the end. Interesting to note that they were the ones that actually spotted and took down at that point in time Sampty, and Shoot to Kill thought that he was out of it, as they said in that interview. It didn't quite keep track of the numbers and names on the kill feed. Easy to do, I suppose. But WTSG, even with having only one player left at the end, managed to get 16 points and still stay within 2 of the lead after that.
I want to give a shout out to Shoot to Kill. They've got 2 wins. Both of them came after the lunch break, or the dinner break, as you want to say. So,
While they putting in the food, Dan.
yeah, whatever SDK is eating for their dinner seems to be working. But I think this is also a team that benefits from sort of prep, right? This is one of those teams that they go home and they do choose to watch VODs. Usually they discuss the day. So I do think that having that nice break has benefited them, and they need to really keep doubling down on it.
That's not the first game that FaZe has had very, very low points. 0 points in that game.
Actually, just while you're on that, they've got 1 point in the last 3 games today.
Cool. FaZe out, bros. I do want to give a shout out to Oath in that particular game. Now, it was interesting. I want to give a shout out, but at the same time, I want to be critical. We finally get to see them stabilize in a fight. In other words, that they weren't necessarily being crashed or pushed. Liquid obviously got into it with them, but they had positional control. They actually held the angles, and I thought it was still a bit sloppy.
I mean, it was sloppy in the sense that we were talking about this backstage, and actually one of the things I picked up, and again, this is being very critical of him, but just that lack of experience with Shinboy going for the flush there and not expecting the minimum 2-man clear.
Was the second
getting traded so easily there in that situation. Again, securing the kill point, they're desperate for points, but again, Shinboy is an extremely talented individual. There's a chance he could have still shut that push down.
I mean, to a certain extent, though, I think it's thinking about where you are, right? So we actually saw when in that fight, his cursor drifted back towards the doorway to look for the second.
Instinctively, he looked for it, and he didn't commit
I think
to
in
it.
his head, he went from, well, this is how I would normally play, but secure the point. You know what I mean? And you could see that mental mathematics.
To be honest, one of the dead teammates could have been the one to call.
I think that's what happened. Secure the kill.
Yeah.
I 100% think there was a call to secure the kill.
And fair enough, you get 1 point, but like you say, if you take down James, that's 2 guaranteed, because there's not going to be a third person crashing that door when they're still engaged.
Liquid's 3 up at that point.
Yeah.
So if he gets the second knock there, Wolf comes over and they take a 2v1.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised because that was the first fight, I think. There was one yesterday on Miramar, again, where they had Snakers inside of the dumpster that maybe you could argue they had control or they were stable in the fight. A lot of it's been sloppy and they've been caught out in rotation. But yeah, that one just did not work out at all for them. I guess I'll ask you guys, any other points from that game? Because I think that one was pretty straightforward toward the end. I did find it interesting that Wrong Brother, Sampty was able to stay in contention so long, but I guess we shouldn't be surprised.
I mean, my takeaway is the rich got richer, the poor got poorer. That was a rough game for anybody who was trying to climb, and everybody on the top, they just kept patting their pockets.
At one point, I do want to bring up Omikin denying in the blue. I know that's standard procedure and was the right play. There's a lot of controversy around that on whether or not that should be penalized or not. I guess your perspective would be greatest on that, because
I mean, for me, I always think that it's in certain situations it's viable. Again, Omikin, if you look at the scoreboard, SDK is a team in close contention with them in the leaderboard. So I have no problem at all if it's a team you're saying we're within 3 points of you. Why would we run the risk of trying to take a 2v4? If they've got to fight their way across the road, SDK have the high ground. I've got no issues with it.
I mean, honestly, the amount of tournaments, and it seems like it shouldn't be this way considering how PUBG works, but the amount of tournaments that have been determined by between 1 and 5 points is astronomical. So at this stage of the game, if you're a team like Omikin who's going to be probably in the top 3 or sort of battling for it, yes, deny the point, because I can guarantee that one of those positions, possibly a higher pay grade, comes down to keeping 1 point away from your opponent.
I mean, in this scenario, what it's 15 grand potentially between placing first and second.
And it also kept shoot to kill. I think they were 1 point. It was 17-18 in terms of points from just that map, and it potentially could have been a spread of 19.
Literally, 1 point has cost people thousands and thousands, if not like 50s of thousands of dollars in this game.
I've missed qualifying for events by 1 point.
There you go.
Well, we'll see when we get the overall standings up in a moment how close they really are, because that'll paint that picture. Before we talk about Game 5, I think it's probably best to hear it from the players. Interesting game. I'm going to harp on Atletico. I'm just going to warn you now, Aussies, you might want to just learn to hate me early. We're part of the Commonwealth. We can be friends later, but not this time. First and foremost, though, it was Welcome to South George that absolutely dominated again. Another chicken dinner, extending their lead, and Kath got a chance to talk to them.
What a dominating performance by WTSG. I'm here with Zhang, and pretty much, dude, welcome to the show. This is your tournament right now. With such a dominating performance, what do you think sets you apart from the rest of the competition right now?
I don't know. We're just better.
Just better. Oh my gosh. Well, you guys are out here fragging. You guys are already ahead on the leaderboard by so many points. You think it's a team chemistry thing, or do you think it's just a strategy thing?
It's both. Like we are like a little bit unique playstyle, I would say. Like that last game, we just took a risk to go more middle, and everything was free there, and we just went deeper all the time, and it paid off really well.
Well, thank you so much. Words from Zhang, and again, guys, welcome to the WTSG show.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. This is the WTSG show at this point in time. It really is about the battle for second when you continue to look at the points. Another high kill. Modest for them, to be fair. 7 kills, but 17 points overall. 3 over that of Liquid, who seem to be the only team that's kind of close, but not close enough. That actually, in some ways, sums up this game for them, because I think, again, they were third in the battle at the end. They just can't seem to get the win.
Oh, yes, but in between this game and the next game, I was sitting in the sort of coach's lounge, and the manager for Liquid walks up and goes, "Oh man, we just can't close out games." And I chuckled and was like, and I looked at him and I go, "It doesn't matter if you do. WTSG's putting up way too many points. Like, yes, the 4-point difference would be nice, but how do you catch these guys?"
On the flip side of that, I actually spoke to Iro after this game as well, and he said, "It's Liquid. We can't lose a fight versus them." And literally, he'd said, historically, scrims, whatever it is, they always come out on top in team fights. And again, just coming back to the point I made earlier, that setup in the late game when you're a 3-man, they were literally just watching for the third party for 5 or 6 minutes, and then it was Liquid pushing in as a 4-man. That opening knock from Miracle is absolutely huge, and the counter peak following that by Vard literally blew that team wide open.
Yeah, and this was the game actually where they had the incredible setup at the end to really dismantle them entirely.
It is worth noting that board we just looked at had Singularity in 4th place, but that's because, once again, they got second. They waited for that they didn't third party. They said, okay, we're going to let you guys fight this one out, but they only ended with 4 kills. So Singularity continuing to do what they've been doing best all day, which is just focusing on placement, and I think that's going to result in a good payday for them.
I said I was going to harp on it. There's a team in this tournament named Shoot to Kill. You do have to shoot to kill Atletico. I don't know what... I mean, I guess they're waiting for all 4 to be there. Where's the confidence?
Flood's just going for absolute efficiency, firing 10 bullets, hitting 10 bullets.
Yeah, you miss every shot you don't take, but you can miss some you do. Let's go for... Look, I'm sorry, that was far too passive. They had a chance to even engage, make things awkward, then adapt to the situation. They sat and watched 2 different teams on 2 different occasions, and then they dropped 16th with no kills.
And it wasn't just
get some shots on the board.
It was the second player on his team as well. Both of them watched and to take shots. I understand. I think what they were trying to do was they had a weird position. They thought, we'll let this team sort of be our cover point, maybe backfill when they rotate. If they know we're here, then we're stuck in a fight. But the reality is, even trying that, they went out in 16th place. It didn't work. And then it's like, well, could we have gotten 3 extra points by taking those shots?
Yeah, I think the way they're looking at it is there's a team blocking us getting forward here. If we shoot at them, all they're going to do is sit there and hold us. So, again, there's maybe some decision-making in there, but... Again, a team this desperate for points, they need to be more aggro.
Yeah, I mean, I get having a shield, but if you weld a bunch of sharp spikes to the back of your shield, it's far riskier than sort of taking care of defending yourself the right way. And that's what they did, is they let them sort of counter them, and it ultimately cost them the game.
Yeah, I mean, 16th again, 0 points. A team that's been trending in that position that did much better this game and deserve a shout-out, Meta. I actually spoke to them in between game 4 and 5. I was outside, and I said, you know what, it's break because everyone rushes for the door. Unfortunately, I didn't know which meta player it was because I don't have cell phone facial recognition. But
Weird.
yeah, it is interesting. He said, every game's been a break for us right now. We're just sitting there dead. And then this game, they turned up. I think they got a complete annihilation. I don't remember which team it was they knocked down. Ended with something like 5 kills. Much better performance from them than what we've been seeing throughout this event.
Yeah, I mean, 7th place in 5. And let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Yesterday, they had a player who was missing for the first half of the day, had travel problems getting here. I understand it's a tough time to travel right now.
It's going to be a tilter as well.
It's a huge tilter. Even when he gets here, he hasn't had time to set up sensitivities, no time, no keyboard adjustments, using whatever monitor is stock. We get that. Comes in today, and they they're starting their tournament a day late. They worked their way up, and they did have a pretty good last 2 games, and that's at least a positive for them.
Yeah, it's much better. I think that this one, don't quote me on, but it's one of their only placement points as well. So it was kind of 2 monkeys off their back in that sense. They definitely improved forward. Game 6 was another new and surprising team. We had Inside Gamers win in Game 2 this morning. Kind of an underdog performance. Tornado Energy. We've been kind of wondering where that energy is. Where have the wins gone? Because wins have been lacking, and normally they're the upper team from the CIS. Navi's been outplacing them, not to be. They finally picked up a chicken dinner just a few moments ago, and Kat was able to catch up with them.
What an amazing way to end the day. I'm joined here with Tornado from CIS and Kompot.
Yeah, hello.
Kompot. Now, I believe it was your first win of this series. Talk to me about something. There was a ton of teams in that Pozo region. I believe you guys are one of the teams in there. What was it like coming out of that city?
So at the start we tried to find our game. 2 days. 2 days we just tried to find our game because we played so I don't know how to say about how to play because that was so bad.
No, I think you guys did an amazing job. You won the game. Now, one thing I would like to touch base on from earlier is we had a team like Wildcard trash talking you guys. Is there anything you'd like to say back to them in response?
No. We don't want to say anything about this team because they show how they play. You can say to any team if you wanna in game, not in trash talk.
I respect that a lot. Well, congratulations on the win, and that is all from me on the floor.
Put up or shut up, I guess. They're kind of throwing it back at Wildcard, real low key there. I like that.
We're not going to say anything. However,
look at how they're playing.
This is the interesting aspect of it, is because both of the underdog wins had ridiculously good kill scores attached to it. It was 25 points, 15 kills there for Inside Gamers. This time it was 14 kills for Tornado Energy. Just a quick note, Singularity second, Na'Vi, the other CIS team, in third, but Singularity not getting a lot of kills, continuing to be rather impressive.
I'm going to be a little critical here. Singularity played that really poorly towards the end game. And actually, we saw Kodak kind of popping off towards the end of the Sanhok game. I don't know what the plan was there. They seemed backing off. There was a couple of whiff sprays, but they never really committed to the wipe. And that just didn't really make sense to me because they had the numbers on both teams remaining.
I mean, at the end of that game, it was the opposite of the earlier game. The teams on top fell off, but they still get to manage their position. This is the overall.
This is overall, and this is telling. This is a problem. You now have a 48-point lead at the top for WTSG. Omikins actually snuck themselves in there. Again, from there down, 90, 88, 88. Team Liquid and Shoot to Kill tied. Singularity continues to sneak their way in. In fact, more placement points than kill points. I think they're the only team, if I just quickly look through the board, that has that trend going for them. And it's 85 for them, 84 for Exalt, who finally, again, showed up in this 6th game, finally got some points on the board. They're only at 84, having been at 50 in the first 3 games yesterday. But 48 points to make up, that's going to be a problem. We'll see if they can. There's a man who might have an idea of how that can happen and how things broke down a little bit better even than us, because he's got this really cool telestrator that does it all for him. His name's Toby. The telestrator's the real talent, though, we know.
Thank you so much. Sadokist, over here, we can, just to go through that very last game we got to see, you guys know one of the core rules of competitive PUBG, if there's a city and it's not in the center of the circle, you're forced to go to the late game, you don't go into cities. Maybe we'll see teams crash cities, Circle 4, Circle 5, when there's no other option. I want you guys to take a look at this. This is first circle popped. You can see the blue closing in. I feel like a real weatherman doing this. The blue is closing in this way. There's no one in El Pozo, as per usual. Now second circle pops and watch what happens. Second circle pops. Immediately, 7 teams are inside the city. That's insane. That's completely out of the ordinary, and there's multiple things that go into it. I'm going to do it really, really brief. Main thing, if you look at the terrain surrounding the city, you have a big open field and everything else is open hillsides. A, impossible to traverse up and down those hills with multiple people shooting at you, especially from the cover of a city. And B, there are tendencies these days that some areas around this map works like water, hide mountains, force circles in different areas, like force circles into different directions, and a lot of them has had their eye on the city of El Pozo. So teams thought, haha, we're gonna beat everyone to it by going in there early, that way we don't have to fight our way into it, but take the fights late game. Little did they know, though, that in the end of it, they had to fight their way out of it as well, and very few teams made their way out alive. And one last point I want to make is 2 teams up on the northern side coming into the very end of it. If we go up here and look, as you talked about, Singularity and Na'Vi, and many people don't like to draw comparisons between teams and regions because they all do each their thing. For anyone out there, maybe for you guys on the desk as well, if you look at a team like Na'Vi, and look at a team like Singularity, I think playstyle-wise, these 2 guys are the most similar 2 teams of any teams here across regions that you can compare in playstyle. They play very similar, and I guess the fact that they have an exact equal amount of kill points goes to show. Maybe? Who knows? Cedicus, back to you.
Thank you very much, Toby. Great breakdown, a great way to look at it. Interesting battle for terrain and urban warfare that ultimately was pretty early on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been an advocate of just stay out of the city for a very long time. The cities in this game are also built with as death traps outside. Yasnaya is the ultimate example. Pozo is no different. If you're leaving the city, there's just no cover. You're going 200-300 meters before you can even get to a hay bale sometimes. So it's a death trap. I do want to give a little bit of love to Exalt, though, because we've been hard on them, okay?
Yes.
But the last 3 games on Miramar, they never finished below 6th place. They put up at least 5 kills in the first 2 where they got lower finishes, 3 in second place on the last one. So I think it's safe to say they're a lot better at Miramar than they are at Erangel, and that's what they need to go home and figure out how to clean up tonight.
I think if I did the math correctly, 90 points out of the 138 that WTSG have came from, from Erangel. So, okay, fair enough. That means they could be in first without the other maps. It's tied for first without the other maps. But if you take that out and actually put Exalt's point total in on just Miramar, they're pretty close. They are a Miramar-based team. It clearly shows that that's where they're doing their best work.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it came down to an unfortunate endgame situation for Exalt. They're obviously only having the solo making it through to the final circle, but just coming back to the city endings, obviously the teams historically we see do better are the ones that send it in when we absolutely know it's going there and there's no other option. And when it comes out, it's the teams that play the edge, and Tornado Energy actually took a really good position over on the west side, the north side of that junkyard behind Wildcard. So I actually really like their movement in that game. So for me, again, crashing in early, they earned the win in the late game actually by coming out and fighting their way out.
And they picked a strong spot. The reason they have 14 kills is Junkyard has cover. It has the potential to move to the north side, but it also has amazing sight lines on everybody else as they try to exit the city.
So we saw these weird, drawn out fights from distance, Wildcard, WTSG sending it up to that shack, and Tornado Energy capitalized on that.
You want to talk about timing, by the way. We often talk about timing in all these sports, whether it's someone missing a skill shot or a stun in a MOBA, whether it's Counter-Strike, someone's rotation or a flashbang or an op looking away.
Yeah.
That timing on the res, it wasn't Zhong. I can't remember who it was. It was running into res, got caught by one straight.
It was Vard.
I was going to say,
Vard got in, and I think he took a load of damage. He was serpentining up the hill and finally took the last tag as he got in the door of the tag.
And he would have rezzed his teammate. There's 3 alive at that point. They've got a decent position, but a much better chance than they did. Suddenly, Zhong's left alone again, and he has to try and snake. Doesn't go quite as well. But that single shot doesn't land, and you have a very different scenario. And I think someone should thank whoever hit that shot, because taking points away from WTSG right now might be the strategy.
Yeah, I think the ones who's thanking him is all the other teams on the top. Like, that game was an anomaly. We lost STK, FaZe, Liquid, Omakin, all of them early, really early, no points on the board. You know they're sweating as WTSG is still alive. When that bullet hits, they all go, oh, thank goodness. And then WTSG goes out early and gives good news to everyone else on the bottom of the bracket that, hey, here's a chance to maybe make up a little bit of ground.
It just so happened we ended up with the final 4 teams being teams desperate for points as well. We talk about Singularity, Tornado Energy, Na'Vi as well.
It is a good thing, as what you're saying. Yes, WTSG went down when the other guys were already out. FaZe, again, they've got to really step it up. Miramar still seems to be against them.
Yeah.
But you'd want, if WTSG goes out early, you'd want those other teams to capitalize to bring that leaderboard back together. But
that fight with FaZe was just so weird. It was weird to watch. And again, we had Amarkin obviously holding. They put the Molotov into the room. Don't know how it didn't kill him. That was just like a weird spot in that room. But again, that being drawn out again for another 30 seconds. And then there was a weird time where Amarkin wasn't even watching the door. And there was 3 of FaZe up inside that small room. Fuzzface was over in the other building. It was just a really weird scenario that you wouldn't usually see FaZe play a team fight out that way. There were some third parties coming in, but it was just strange to watch, to be honest.
I question... it's tough to see someone doing it as a viable strategy for themselves, but to the benefit of others. I remember, I guess, what was it, Fall Classic 2018, Cloud9, late game, have to basically get hot dropped in order for, I think it was Liquid that was against them in that one, was it not? That was second place? Anyway, basically came to a hot drop
FaZe.
last circle. It was FaZe, that's right.
FaZe dropped in,
yeah, and they had the car chase. And does anyone just tomorrow morning say, screw it, it's 6 games to go, they're ahead by... When do you just hot drop the leader? When do you start challenging?
I mean, you're going to be hot dropping them for 5 maps if they're 50 points ahead. When it comes down to the final game, sure, it could be a viable situation if you're comfortable from third and third has to get a 20 kill win to catch you.
Yeah.
But again, somebody's going to have to be dropping WTSG 4 games on the trot and wiping them to even stand a chance for Amarkin, Liquid, STK to catch him.
I think there's 2 things to remember. We've got a new format here. It's possible that we see third-party invite-driven tournaments. If that's the case, all you really want is to keep pushing your position up. So when the paperwork comes out, or you're not even top 5. Like if you're a smaller region, if you're SA, for instance, get top 8. Get to a position where people recognize you as the best in the region. The only way I think that we're going to see hot drops is if it's a second or third place team who's so securely in second or third place they can't be caught, and they say, okay, it's worth the risk of going after number 1.
We lose
nothing. And that's the only time.
And I think that was the case as well in the Fall Classic. Second place
the Fall
could not
Classic,
be caught for second.
Yes, FaZe were absolutely comfortable, and Cloud9 were within reach, but FaZe's win condition was Cloud9 dying first.
Yes, that's right. And they both went out early, but they both had one guy that were running. I think K-Mind was like, I'm out. I'm just going to try and survive at that point.
It was Moody. Yes. Moody sent it to the military island.
And that's why we don't see it, because the ability to get all 4 of them is so incredibly difficult. Like there's just one person who's going to be like, oh, I'm out.
Slip away.
Hard nopes and is gone.
Yeah, they say never do math live, if I've done it correctly. 64 points yesterday and 74 points today for WTSG. Remarkable totals. The reason I bring that up is their lead now is 48 points. If you're any other team, okay, they've obviously been very consistent, and it's unlikely they're not going to put points on the board. But you have to say, hey, if they can do it, so can we. We can at least try and close that gap. And if you get Liquid, or anyone for that matter, in that sort of the 4th to 3rd positions, to get momentum early, it is doable. It's unlikely, but doable.
I mean, it's highly unlikely, but you could say everything down to Exalt with 84 points still has a shot. It requires WTSG to not show up tomorrow, and the way they're playing, I don't think there's any reality. And any of us could stand here and say that that's going to happen. But yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable saying these guys are playing for second place until we see the first 3 games tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, and it starts back in the desert. WTSG isn't as strong there as maybe STK might be, so they could have a chance. But the reality is we end with 3 games back on Erangel, where WTSG has shown us they are nigh unstoppable.
The big problem is now with this lead, if they start just playing confidently, like, guys, we're so far ahead, let's push these guys. That's when the trouble comes, because if those guys are already playing insane like this and they get that little confidence boost, a little bit of ego challenge going on, we start crashing some teams center circle, anything's possible.
Like, to put that mentality and to say that Shinboy hold that we saw, when Liquid was making his push against him, he went for the point because they needed the point. When you get so far ahead you don't need any more, you imagine a WTSG player being like, F it, I'm going for the 3K.
I'm going for the 1v3,
Exactly. And if they lose it, it doesn't hurt them. And if they win it, it's even, they get the highlight reel, everybody's happy, and I see them continue to push down this road.
I'd love to bring the leaderboard up just now that we've contextualized everything again, and we'll get a final look at it, because day 2 done, 12 games out of the way already. We've got 6 left, and I think the storyline has to be, and we've touched on it, who is going to catch? Is anyone going to catch WTSG? And for that matter, is it on for second place? and I would say it very much is at least about second place. 90, 88, 88, 85, 84 is the next 5 teams on the board, which is pretty incredible.
When we started this tournament, we did our first pre-show, and I talked to Xiong, and I was like, man, these guys are great. I think this could be their tournament. This could be their year. But honestly, I did not expect this coming out of the gate. I thought they'd need a little bit of time to get their feet under them.
I honestly think if we're 2/3 of the way through, I don't think we've seen this dominant a performance from any team. And if we want to say European, North America with LATAM and OCE thrown in, I can't think of another event where 2/3 of the way in we've had this much of a gap, and it's been so close between 2nd and 9th. That is actually insane to me. Iroh was top fragger for WTSC at the start of the day when Uber actually had 22 at the start. At the halftime when we were looking at it. Vard, I think he dropped 2 games back to back where it's 5 and 6 kills. Literally putting in work for WTSC.
The interesting thing is Paige sneaking in there as well. We thought T-Bone.
And
That's
T-Bone,
interesting.
yeah.
But yeah, T-Bone was there kind of at halftime. He just kind of kept that consistency going, or at least got a few more to keep him up there. But Paige sneaks in, so I'm trying to remember who got knocked out there. It would have been one of the Welcome to South George players. Either way,
it was Iroh.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Iroh was top fragging with 18 kills for his team.
But that says how many people are around that 20 kill mark rate.
Either way, if I'm WTSG, I'm spending the money to bring Vard's girlfriend with me to every future event because having her seems to be bolstering that confidence. He talked about it at the halftime show, like, hey, it is nice to have someone here supporting me. It seems to be working wonders, but I gotta worry about the rest of Europe. Next week, right, they're going to the Berlin qualifiers. It's a big deal for these European teams. WTSG is a rock that is now rolling downhill, and to stop them and push them back next week, this week, it's a task that's borderline Sisyphusian at this point, and I don't know how you do that.
I'm going to say it right now. Some of the Korean teams are going to be looking at this closely.
100%.
If they're aware of what's going on this week right now in Sweden, they're going to be starting to study.
This might be our first answer to Korea. I mean, honestly.
This play style, honestly, is the closest, I think, consistent counter we would have to the good Asian teams we've seen at other majors, honestly.
Speaking of play styles, we saw 2 people that have absolutely no idea how to play charades correctly earlier. Paper Thin and Matrim. That was awful. That was abysmal. I'm sorry. I got no other words for it. But maybe these guys know how to do it better. I say guys, one of them is a girl. It's going to be Kat. And I forget who her partner was, but we'll find out.
All right, well, welcome to some charades. Me, Kat, and Toby. We need to smash those casters.
That is true.
You know that, right?
True.
All right, are we ready? We got this? Go! Oh,
baseball pan? Adrenaline syringe, med kit, first aid. A DMR, SKS, SLR, Mini, MK14, VSS, Mutant.
The count, I feel like you said mini.
Oh, Mini, yeah.
Oh.
Parachute? What? Opening the door? What? Getting knocked? Shooting? Yeah. Pistol? Sidearm? Suppressor? Flash hider? Flash? Was that your flash hider? I like your instant reaction. Flash! Jesus Christ, Kat.
Jesus Christ.
Kat.
Sorry to Toby. I forgot who her partner was. I was a little confused because I said there was one girl. I thought it was actually Toby with the longer hair. That's all. So it's not me. I like his long locks. It's just banter.
Oh, okay.
He can meet me outside after. He probably will. He's big.
I love how Flash Hider actually went from flashing to just went full circle.
I don't know where you're going with that. Jeez. Oh,
Big
man.
goals, huh?
They got 4 points, though. That was a heck of a lot better than Matchroom and Paper. I don't think you could have done worse, to be fair, than what they did earlier.
Some dirty tactics there, though. You shouldn't be talking. You shouldn't be making noises.
Also, never said Mini 14, just said Mini.
It just said Mini?
Yeah, you know, I'm just saying.
I kind of
personally would
agree.
not
I
do
don't know if that's a point or not.
Plus, like, Mini 14, come on, at least go ting, ting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or does it even shoot bullets sometimes? I don't know. I mean, these guys make it look good. I can't kill anyone. I just tickle them at range with that gun. Great day today, has to be said. Enough of the charades, enough of the flashing people, apparently. This was, I think, a much higher level of PUBG than yesterday, whether it's people getting the cobwebs out from the Christmas break and coming into 2020, or if it was just a matter of yesterday woke some people up and pissed some people off. I thought it was a much more solid day of PUBG.
Yeah, I mean, the guys came to play today. Today's their last time to go home and look at the VODs, and tomorrow's going to be a bigger one.
Well, GLL PUBG, day 2 done. This is a look back at all the chicken dinners and all the kills that got us there. Inside Gamers certainly came from the underdog position, but we have 6 more games to go. 12 done. WTSG might have done enough to secure the victory. Who can catch them? Can anyone? And the battle for second is very much on. We'll see you tomorrow on Sunday.
Might be the right guy. Yeah, like this one.